Okay. Okay, so what time is it?
Good evening and welcome to the Budget Committee meeting. It's October 23rd. Tonight's agenda, one of the things that we needed to discuss was the recommendations of the Board of Selectmen that were made on budgets. Last time we met, the board, or the Budget Committee, wanted to keep the budgets flat this year with the exception of COLA increases because we still don't have the 2024 audit complete, don't really know where all the numbers are at. On Tuesday?
Tuesday,
It was Tuesday?
21st. Yeah.
On the 21st, Board of Selectmen met, had a meeting, and they voted to recommend the COLA, which is 2.7% this year, and a 3.5% increase on the budgets. I know it was said that it's not a lot of money, but I think this is something we need to discuss.
Okay, my first question is, why 3.5%? Where did this figure come from? What was it? I mean, it seems very arbitrary. Has anyone asked for, I mean, do we know that everybody is gonna, yeah, I mean, it's, so I have no problem with people, you know, wanting more money and they justify it, but to randomly give them 3.5% just because things might go up that much just kind of seems a little ridiculous to me. So, where did 3.5% come from?
Was it just a number?
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
I think what Stephanie said in the last meeting was, you know, if you level fund everybody's budget and then somebody comes and says, okay, well, we know that such and such is going to go up this much, like the fire department, I think you were saying. You know, if you know these expenses are going to, so then you come back and you say, okay, well, we need this much more money. But to just say, here's a bucket more money.
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Wendy Thorne. My question is this: I don't understand what your audit has to do with your upcoming budget, because those numbers will be at some point your final numbers, and you're working on 2026 budget, which is going to be raised and appropriated by the townspeople. So when someone presents to you their budget, it's based on what's going to happen when you set commitment and it's voted on. Your audit is important. What your audit is important for is to know where your undesignated fund is, and that's where your conundrum is not knowing what your undesignated is. And so at that point, I probably wouldn't recommend transferring any money until you get a final figure on that, and you should be having that soon. That's how I would present it. And the 3.5% really is an arbitrary number. If you take the 3.5 plus 2.7, that is what, 6.2? And in the past, we've said things like to go 5%. If somebody goes over 5%, then you're going to question it. And I probably guarantee you that most of the department heads won't go over that number.
But it's not 3.5 plus.
Oh, it's not?
2.75.
Oh, I thought it,
It's 2.75 on the COLA.
I thought it
Every
was
other line.
just the 2.7, what the actual COLA was.
The COLA is for payroll,
Right.
every other line 3.5.
right,
Correct.
Right.
That's-
yeah, that was
that's
the
not six.
understanding.
Oh, I thought you were doing payroll at 2.7, then every other line at 3.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
but that doesn't make it 6. That makes it less than 3.5, right? Because most of your budget is payroll,
Correct.
and if 80% of our budget is payroll, that means 80% of our budget's gonna be at 2.75.
2.7, okay.
And only 20% of it would be at the 3.5.
Because when I listened to you the other night, I took it that way. I took it 2.7 and 3.5.
It's 2.75 2.5, the COLA stays the same with the payroll, because that's set by.
That's set by our ordinance,
Right.
yes.
Every other line, 3.5.
Okay. But anyway, that's
So
my
in
point.
reality,
But
Your actual increase, I think when I probably made the statement saying it wasn't a lot of money,
Yep.
it's not a lot of money more than where we would be anyways, because you know you're gonna have 2.75 on the payroll. Look at the budget, see what percentage of it is payroll, which is probably 70% at least. That means you're only getting the 3.5 on the last 20 to 30%.
And if you flatline the whole budget. Or if you have an emergency that comes up during the year, not an emergency, but something that's needed by that particular department, you are going to have to raise, until you have time, up until August, to raise and appropriate those funds. Or if you're still hesitant on what your unassigned is, you're not going to have that number to back you up. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't know that we've ever budgeted before and cared about what the audit was 2 years ago. No one ever said last year, let's look at the 2023 audit, we do the 2025 budget. So saying that the 2024 audit isn't done has nothing to do with next year's budget.
No, because we're on,
Speak of it.
But we've looked at it.
Well,
We looked at what?
At the audit, we were relying on the audit reports that were coming out.
You've never looked at it 2 years back. You always look at, what your concern should be is, you don't have accurate figures for 2025, not 2024.
2025 is what you want.
We've always taken in reports, we ask for a current report that
Right.
tells us what we spent through October of 2025 at this point. And then you say, okay, where does that put us to the year, and what are we looking at for next year?
Right.
So that having the 2024 audit or not shouldn't help or hinder or stop or this process at all. Having good numbers for 2025 should definitely concern you. And as I said the other night, the one number that the auditor is pretty confident is our unassigned number.
And that's,
And that's what we're gonna use more for capital expenses and big projects anyways.
and that number shouldn't change, so from year to year, so if you end 2024 at 2.5 million, unless you had, and so 2025, you could end at 2.5 million, depending if you didn't spend any money at all, or you received no revenues in. That number is going to move, but everything else that you do is raised and appropriated, what you're working on now. Your capital funds and that would come from the unassigned, or raise and appropriate.
We know that our capital account and our unassigned number are, they know what those are, and they're pretty healthy.
Well, I want to say, and not to speak for Stephanie because she's not here, but my understanding of what she was saying about the audit is because the last couple years of numbers aren't accurate, we don't know that the numbers on the green sheet of the expenses are accurate based on, I mean, this is where, you know, so when we go to budget and look at the line items, which,
The general ledger is
you know,
the
the
expense
general
ledger.
ledger isn't
Because
accurate.
they were still making changes to 2023 the last time we met.
So are you saying you're not confident of the 2025 numbers that were entered into the budget? Or are you saying that you don't know what is unexpended funds for the end of the year?
Or what's
Because-
actually been expended for this year, last year, and part of '23.
You don't have to go back that far. You have to focus on 2026 budget. If you want those unexpended funds to use to roll over into that account, or to know what that number actually is that's going to dump back into the unassigned, to use for capital funds, because when I used to do it, that's what I would do. I would look for what was left over from all the accounts and make a determination if I can use that money to offset taxes, or to transfer over to capital project account, as long as you stayed within your 3 months on the books of your unassigned balance or your expenses. But I understand, I've been watching the flicks here, and I understand the confusion of some of the accounting that's going on, but you got to have some sort of faith, you know, that it's correct.
And that's why, I mean, that's why I think, you know, the department heads should, I mean, we have no problem increasing their budget, but I just don't think we should just say, you know, here.
Oh, no, it's not carte blanche. you know,
Right, well,
you know.
I think 3.5% across the board is carte blanche.
Because.
Well, we used to
like
say
the-
5%. We would say, if you're not over 5%, we will look at your budget and be, you know.
Slow and steady budgetary growth is what you want, right? Because if you try to zero fund, you're gonna make that up somewhere, okay? It's, nobody can sit here and say that anything next year is gonna be less expensive than this year.
But
That's
if there's,
reality.
if there's
That's
money that they
reality.
didn't spend in the previous budget,
Then they won't spend it next
Then-
year.
but you're giving them more money, where they didn't expend the money the previous year, so why can't they just get by with the money that they didn't use? You know what I mean?
Because you don't know what they've expended this year or not.
Well, that's what so justify what you've expended, and show, as a department head, you should show that they need more money. Otherwise, why should they just get more money? I mean,
You look at our expense summary report, you see that there are areas where they haven't spent hardly anything that they
Yep.
budgeted from last year.
that's
And
my
what you
point.
just said about giving them another 3.5% or whatever on top of that, that's just,
You know what,
it's unrealistic.
What about the errors in posting? Some of the department heads are still trying to get the errors in posting
And-
straightened around.
and that was Stephanie's,
We have.
what was she
we
was
have
saying.
We have some very competent department heads in this town. We ought to be fortunate we have them. When they come in and present their budget, I would think they're gonna bring a sheet in saying, this is what I have spent.
And this is what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm
This
pretty
is what
pretty
we,
sure they're gonna do that. And some of them, you mentioned the fire department. They got fixed expenses, but you got expenses you can't even plan on with that. They could plan on $10,000 in diesel fuel and use 8, or they could use 16, depending on what they have for calls. Roads the same way. You don't know how much stuff's gonna go up. Joanne made a good point about the dump the other day with the increase in homes that have been built. Her tonnage is up, so her costs are up. So
But
what-
yet she's scared to put in a budget with any increase.
Uh,
She's scared to do it. That's what she said. Because she's afraid it'll get voted down.
I mean, I think she's just
She's just trying to.
she's being realistic. I mean, it's, you know, you can't just, I don't know.
She says.
I think you just can't automatically.
She says she's owed $67,000
She,
from FEMA, and she cut that out of this year's budget,
And
but
she's
she doesn't know.
And she'll think she'll do it next.
well, she also said that she took the grinding out of it, and the grinding is still in her budget. She said that she did not put that in. And she still level funded her budget without the COLA increase, with the grinding still in there, so.
But that's a prime example. She didn't do the grinding.
No,
So that's
she,
your pile, that's a pile that's just gonna keep growing and growing. And that's the type of thing that if you don't do,
but she
you're gonna
said
pay
she,
for it eventually.
but she said she took that out, and it's still in her 2026 budget recommendation. So,
Well, she took it out in 2025. She didn't do it. So in
no, it was
2025,
in
she
2025,
had
she
it in
said,
2025,
and she said-
didn't spend it.
and she said, so she took it, she said she was taking it out of this year's budget, but she did not. It's in her budget.
What do you mean I think when you say taking it out, which I think what I understood her to say was, she had it in 2025, she didn't do it, because she needed that money for something else, because they took money from elsewhere.
Mhm.
And to me, that's a prime example of when you underfund or level fund, a pile of stuff that needs to be chipped is a great example, because the pile is here this year, and you don't have the money to do it, and you're gonna level fund her so she can't do it. So let's let that pile grow, so in 2 years, instead of having a 3% increase this year, you'll end up with 6 next. And if you do it again, if you hold 3% the next year, you'll end up with 9. You're gonna pay at some point. At some point, you're gonna pay if you try to level or underfund.
I'd like to ask the selectman a question regarding the undesignated fund. How much play, you've received a number from the auditors for the undesignated at the end of 2025, correct? I mean 2024. You received a number
Yes,
that you started with.
the end of 2024.
The end of, right, the beginning of this year. And they've also supplied a number at the end of, right now. Didn't they give you enough? No, they haven't. So you have this number to start with. How much play is in that number, do you think? That he's right or wrong? Plus or minus? Is it 100,000? Is it 200,000? Do you,
You don't know what.
what
You said we
number?
don't know. What don't we
I don't know
know?
what that number is.
They've given us that number.
What she's asked,
They've given us that number.
Right,
The auditor's given us that number.
what she's saying, we don't know.
how much
what
play,
play there is.
how much play is in that number that is acceptable for whatever error might exist? Any?
They've said-
Zero? Is it zero?
No.
What is it?
They said the number they gave us is
Yeah.
only gonna go, at their best information they have right now,
Right,
once they play out the final numbers for this audit,
yeah?
it's only gonna go up. That's what they come, it won't go down.
Mm-hmm.
The only chance is that number's gonna go up.
Okay.
Because one of the last things they're still trying to iron out
Mm-hmm.
is all these tax sale lots.
Yeah.
That's one of the last things they're
Well,
trying to get through the end of.
undesignated includes the sale of property. And you have a
Well, no,
good idea.
Not really, to some extent it does.
Whatever.
Only on certain lots. And it will
Correct.
increase only by the back taxes that we get. It'll help increase if we sell a lot, depending on the lot, some of the money has to go to capital reserve.
Right,
Some of the money that, once we take all the back taxes we collect,
would go into the
that
general
goes
fund.
income, that goes to the
Okay.
general fund.
Okay,
That would raise
the
the
number.
undesignated fund balance. So their opinion is, the number they've given us
Yes,
will only go up.
okay. So you have a number.
Yep.
How much play is in that number that you feel, if it was wrong, if it was overstated, that would be okay with what your plans are for 2026?
$500,000?
I have no clue.
$500,000.
$500,000, okay.
What are your total expenses? So it's 3 months of those total expenses.
They've given us a number of
Yeah.
$2.75 million.
Okay,
We need 2.1 set aside,
okay,
okay? So that gives us $650,000.
okay. All
And
right.
from there, they say it's only gonna go up.
So it's not really $500,000, because you're going to have some capital projects that you're planning on using capital money or
Well, we-
undesignated money?
You said, where would that number fall out of?
Okay,
We have more money in capital expense than we've ever had
right.
because of the land sales.
This is my point. The number that he is giving you includes $25,000 that belongs to Hollandville. And it's still in the general fund, and nobody is saying anything about moving it. Okay? So that number is overstated by $25,000. That's what I know, all right? And I know that this year, whatever number is out there right now, it is understated by $30,000 of another project that hasn't hit the general ledger yet, that was approved in March. Okay, so I know that. I can prove it, and I can show it to you. And I've mentioned it to the board. So if you got $500,000 that you're going to leave there until this dust settles, I'm good with starting with whatever number you've got. But know that there's errors. But they might, and that's Stephanie's point. She knows there's errors too. We don't know, we can't quantify them all. And neither can the auditor at this point.
But those errors aren't going to impact your budgeting for 2026.
I agree.
That's not going to impact that. And if you're at 2.7 million and you're not going to move any of those funds,
Well, that means
some of that money is.
it's when you're going, it's going to impact it if you start taking, if the article says you're going to take it from undesignated.
Correct.
If you raise and appropriate everything, God bless America, good for the voters of Limerick, I hope they like that,
And that's
okay?
basically what I was saying, don't move any money.
Don't move any,
Wait until you can do it in June when you hopefully know that your 2025 is, your 2024 and your 2025 should be done, the audit should be done by March of 2026.
you're saying do not do a capital project till after,
Well, I'm not saying that, I mean,
you're saying don't move any money, what do you mean?
don't move any money until June.
I don't understand that statement.
What I'm saying is don't move any money unassigned into a capital account until you're totally satisfied after the audit ends for 2025 in March of 2026. Because you have until June, or you can have special town meetings up until the time you set commitment. We've done that in the past,
Uh-huh.
where we decided to wait so we knew. what
I'm
we-
worried about the March articles. So you're saying the March articles are, if they use the undesignated money, you're saying not to raise and appropriate everything?
No.
Or you're saying use it,
We need that money right away. If we got $2.7 million,
Yeah. We're not going to get those projects going, so we're going to sort of slow them down.
slow them down a bit, and that's what needs to be done a little bit. We have one project after another.
Well, personally, not to end this, but,
You want to move on?
well, I think this is a great thing to have at a selectmen's meeting, not the budget committee.
Well, they're trying to get you to approve something.
I fully understand
And
that.
and the argument was that you shouldn't be worried about this.
No, we should be worried.
Because everything's going to be fine.
If we go,
I'm telling you, there were valid arguments, and I'm telling you, we can prove them. You do what you want to. You're in charge. Thank you.
if we have that much money left over, we should give some back to the taxpayers to lower the rates.
Well, that's how we had, how do you think we did we kept the mill rate the same this year?
I understand that.
Yeah, but they had a reevaluation in town, so
No,
everybody,
that was last year.
well,
Your tax bill, 2024 and 2025 should be the same.
Oh, it is this year from last year, but last year they did the reevaluations and everybody's kind of doubled, well, some.
so, and they don't, the taxpayers in Limerick don't understand that the mill rate stayed the same because all their taxes went up. So they
When you
want,
did your tax bill a month ago, it should have been the same bill as it was last year. No?
Nope.
no.
So you're saying your tax bill that you got a month ago,
Was $155.03 more than it was the year before. And I know that because I have an email from my mortgage company saying, here's how much we
Yeah.
paid, and here's the difference from last year.
And your insurance went up this year.
I'd ask for both your bills, because
Mine went down. Mine went down a little bit.
Valuation stayed the same, and we kept the mill rate the same as last year, so I don't know how many, my tax bills were like almost a
Exactly the
penny
same.
to where they were.
So there were changes. Yeah, and not everybody can carry that change. And when we're saying arbitrarily, well, it's just, increase budgets by 3.5%. Some of them had things in there that they didn't use this year. That, yes, it's going to go back into undesignated, or it was, you know what, we have all this money that we budgeted for. Let's go out and get this for our office. Let's go out and get the,
Because we won't get it next year.
instead of living within their budget going, okay, what do we not need? It's, well, if we get this, then we can get more. And I'm gonna use the fire department just because that's a huge expense for the town, you know, they came and asked for extra equipment that they needed to get, that they hadn't budgeted for. Can we do it from the, general fund, everything else? And we said, yeah, okay, we'll recommend it. We'll recommend doing this. But then as we're looking at, the expense ledgers and the spending, and we're looking at it going, well, they didn't budget for furnishings, but they spent $10,500 on furnishings? Did it have to, did they absolutely need that? Was that a necessity?
It was a misposting.
Was it?
There was never, there was, go look back at any budget we've had before building that building. There never was a furnishings line. Those furnishings belong to the construction part of the building, and they were put in the operating account.
Okay, so this is back to Stephanie's point, though, so we can't trust the numbers off the general ledger of what the expenses are, so how can we just say, so if you level fund the budget and then the fire department comes and says, well, this is what we need, okay, then we can increase your budget by X dollars or X percentage.
Or we
But
can
we can't
recommend it.
just, yeah, we can recommend it, but we can't just say, okay, well, everybody just gets this because, and that Stephanie was saying, we can't, if it's misposted on here, how can you budget anything? If these expenses are not what they are, how can you budget?
Are not the department heads gonna come in, submit their budget in person? They know what they
That's-
spent.
Yeah,
That
that's what,
print
yeah.
out, throw it out the window. They know what they spent. They should be able to
And
come
is-
in with a report, a piece of paper, and give it to everybody with what they spent.
Right.
And it's that, if it's misposted, it's not accurate. I think you're gonna find that the department heads are gonna come in with what they spent and where they spent it.
And
I'm gonna have Julie pull all those invoices for that, those furnishings.
Okay.
I did a analysis of that, and that furnishings did go to the operating account and not to the building of the fire department furnishings for that. Because I had worked with Vinnie for all his numbers, and there were a lot of mispostings in his accounts, and I.
That one is one invoice. Shouldn't be allowed to pull.
I don't remember what it was. I wasn't concerned with that.
Yeah. Yeah. But do we want to discuss the library?
Well, Cindy's here.
Since you're here, Cindy. No, yours is, you know what? You kept yours pretty well the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
Did you print
the
out
one increase, we have two
Printed out enough
increases,
of 'em.
but our book vendor that I've used for 30 years is Baker and Taylor. They've gone out of business. So now we have to buy our books from other places. We have kept our book budget at $5,300 for years. So we've just increased it by 1,000 because we just don't know, And one thing I read, and it was when the tariffs kind of kicked in, a lot of books are published, printed in Canada.
Yeah.
So there you go with your tariffs. So that kind of explains, for a couple of reasons, why we're increasing by 1,000.
right.
We did quickly, since Tuesday, when the select board decided the 3.5%, that's when we threw in the 1,000, because when we did our first budget that we gave you like a month ago, we didn't know Baker and Taylor was going to be going out of business, so.
Oh, and I don't have the new one. I was sent the old one.
So we did
The
the.
last one, the first one was in September, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I have, hang on.
Oh, you don't have this new one that we just emailed yesterday?
No. Nope.
That we worked hard on?
Nope.
That's great. I have it right here. I don't know if anybody wants to run and make copies of it, so you all can have it. What?
It's on their budget website.
It's on their budget
Is it?
website, says Gail.
Hang on.
Who'd you give it to yesterday?
We emailed it to Alicia, which is what we've been told to do, which she put it on the budget website.
Yep. But if
So
we
you
don't-
want our total is 97,926. Last year's total was 95,569. So this includes the COLA at 2.7 and the,
And the 1%.
oh, the 1%, right. So
Yeah.
what my Board of Trustees had suggested and voted on, because my Library Board of Trustees votes on the budget that we present, a 1% increase for all staff, then the COLA on top of that. Because I have a couple of people that are like at $15 and $16 an hour. So we're just trying to bring people up
So
to.
you want 2.7 plus 1.
Yeah.
Right.
1% plus 2.7,
7. So 2.7 plus 1.
and then $1,000 for the books.
These sheets we printed off from the town website aren't accurate because I'm $1,000 off on the total you just gave on your budget, so.
$1,000 off on,
This is 96,888, you were what, 97?
yep, that's the one that we just presented yesterday. We emailed a new one yesterday.
And that's the old one.
That's the one we did in September. We did one on 10/22.
Yeah, that one isn't showing on the budget website. The one that's showing on the budget website is the one from 9:30 still.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, but that's not a huge difference. I mean,
Yeah.
overall, your budget really didn't increase.
Yeah.
The budget hasn't done anything in the last 15 years.
You know,
Okay?
we're
And I'll
just.
say it time and time again, yours is the best budget, and it's the best place we have in town for people. I've said
Well,
it
we
15
try
years in a row.
and be responsible and, you know, we think about the taxpayers. We are taxpayers ourselves.
Yeah, that's right.
So we just try and,
I guess the biggest thing is the 2.7 is the COLA, is the 1%. The rest of the people in town get that 1% too. That's just me, just
Yep.
asking how do we do that? Yeah. I know, that's.
know.
up to
That
two
was what
different
we
things.
But that's,
submitted.
that's specific to the Library Board of Trustees.
Well, that's what they're asking for, is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's all. I'm saying if we give all the employees at the library that, basically 3.7, okay, are we doing it with everybody else? Are we isolating that? And that's all.
I think that would just be for the library since it's,
Yep, no, that's fine. I'm just saying, that's just, I don't want somebody else coming back saying, well, we only got 2.7.
right.
Or is this a merit raise or whatever. I can hear the stories.
All right, well,
Okay.
hopefully.
Good budget.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can go home now.
If you wanted to.
Can I just correct something?
Yes.
Not that it's a big deal. Your tax bill last year was $2,500.02.
Uh-huh.
This year it's $2,500.02. Just so we know.
Then why did my mortgage company pay?
They must have paid your bill somewhere wrong. There was $160-some-odd prepayment that got carried over.
Good to know. Well, thank you for looking that up and letting me know.
Everybody's bill should have been the same. And I'm-
Well,
I'm
go,
not paying
you
that
better
house.
go, you better go look up hers, because hers went down, is the problem.
I'll look at it. See, if your escrow company paid it early or paid it a little late, that can change it.
Well, it's gonna change
It
that.
depends on when your escrow company, you can't, it depends what the escrow company That you can't fix, but the tax bills for last year and this year, if your total tax, unless you have different exemptions or something else,
Yeah.
your tax bill for this year and your tax bill for last year, down below should have been the same.
So you're saying that the amount of money you're receiving for property tax from last year to this year is exactly the same?
From 24 to 25, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
I'm saying if your house was the exact same in 2024, it's the exact same in 2025, but our revenue's going up because we have more houses,
We get more houses
more
and
buildings.
everything, yeah.
So tax revenue's definitely going up,
Right.
because a new house, an addition to
Subdivisions.
a house, those things will add to taxes. The
What used to be vacant lots are
personal
now,
property, vacant lot that used to pay 200, maybe is now paying 4,000 or 5,000. We paid a $15,000 tax bill yesterday that wasn't there last year on property. So I mean, your tax revenues are going up because the town's growing.
Yeah.
Or is your homeowner's insurance come out of your escrow company? Do they carry that, or do you
Yeah.
carry it?
they do.
That's probably what your increase was.
Everybody's
Everybody's
insurance went.
Oh, no, I get emails anytime they mail out a check to anybody, and they do their valuation thing, and they come back and they say, here's the difference from this year to last year, and they break everything
Yeah,
down.
but everybody's insurance went up because
Oh, yeah.
the value went up, and we talked about it a year ago.
Yeah, no, that went up, and they paid that in June.
Yep, all right.
All right, do we want to look at any of the other budgets? I mean, there were some that were
All right,
submitted,
so
but
are these the latest ones now?
these are what are online, but Alicia did send out an email inviting everybody to revise their budgets. So do we want to spend the time going over them, or do we want to wait?
Well, wait,
this is the only one that I had questions with.
which one is that?
Animal control.
I was gonna say, I got a serious question on that.
Okay, thank you.
No, we'll have a discussion on it while we're here.
I think the department heads need to come in here and present their budget. Animal control hasn't, I've been on the board for 7 months, I know she's been asked to come, she hasn't come before, and that's, a $6,000 increase in a stipend, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a 43.5% increase in her budget.
Yeah.
And I know, looking at the ledgers and summaries, her mileage was, there's more expended in than what was budgeted for last year. I get that, she may be driving around but
But $2,700 more? Or $1,700 more?
it's a big,
$1,700 more.
I mean, the difference in her budget from last year to this year is,
$8,000,
yeah,
roughly.
83, 84.
yeah, which is,
Nice.
Well,
it's
they would,
huge.
they would only come before the budget committee once a year to come in. The select board should be meeting with her every couple of months. I mean, it was a few years ago where I think it was every 2 months, each department head made an appearance at the select board meeting, so.
You ask them to come, apparently they don't come.
Well, if they don't come, then they're, somebody's gonna say, hey, you have to be here. Yeah.
All right.
So that one definitely doesn't question. I've got,
Any,
talk about-
any comments on that one?
Well, it'd be nice to have them come in and talk about it.
Well, we'll have her come in, I'm saying, but they're part of it, they should be, they're the selectmen, I mean, we're just gonna say, hey, just come in and discuss your budget. They should be calling her in periodically, I mean, that's part of your
The job.
responsibility.
Has she not been asked to come in, John?
Last year, I think you asked her once.
At one point, we asked everybody to come in, we've asked everybody to come in. Where they've come in.
Are we going to decide on each individual budget when they're here?
Yes.
For instance, Cindy just presented hers, and I think everybody's in agreement that it's a good budget and that we would
Yeah.
recommend a yes vote. But if somebody's not here with their budget and we vote it down, I mean.
It is what it is.
If you don't show up, you don't show up.
Right.
But I mean, the reward Limerick's been for the
But have
last,
we invited them on a specific night? Do we have that all plotted out between now and?
No, because we haven't known when we were gonna get budgets, we didn't, I
So
mean,
still
normally
to
we
kinda
have the budgets
send
by the
those in.
30th of September,
Yeah,
and all the department heads know that they're supposed to be in by then.
right.
the last couple of years, David, if somebody's budget was the same, or that close to it, we didn't ask them to come in. Okay? I mean, that's the way we've done it for the last bunch of years.
If somebody's budget was the same, why would you ask them to come in?
No, I said we didn't.
We would not.
Why wouldn't you?
If it's the same,
Yeah.
There's no
What
increase.
if they had money left they didn't spend the year before? Would you take a look at that and say, well, maybe your budget should go down? If you got many people come in, I mean, you're okay with them
We're
level
okay.
funding it, but you're not concerned with what they spent the year before, because maybe they were over budgeted the year before. Let's take rec, for instance, okay?
they have,
Rec's a very good,
Right.
rec, depending on who happens to be in that seat.
mhm.
Take a look at this year. Rec has spent very little bit of their budget. And it's the gentleman that runs it is doing everything he can, and he's very involved, but he hasn't had time to do a lot of stuff. So, and he's agreed he's gonna step down.
Yeah.
Now, whoever the new rec director is, has to come in and live by that last year's budget. And hopefully it's enough.
Well,
The road commissioner,
the
same thing.
the
road
recreation-
commissioners-
the recreation budget came in $8,000, almost $8,000 less than last year.
In total,
Yeah,
but including capital
Oh, they didn't include anything for capital
this year.
this year.
Did last year's include anything in capital, or was that separate?
That was separate, yeah. We don't have,
So rec
Last
has already
year's.
set a budget for next year?
yep. So last year's budget was $44,405. The submitted budget for this year is $36,705. So, I mean, to your point, he didn't spend all the money, so he didn't ask for as much money.
Because they didn't do anything. Right, so, because we had a rec director that was busy elsewhere.
but that money went into the general fund, correct? So if
Whatever he
something,
doesn't spend,
right,
will go into the general fund at the end of the year.
right. So if something comes up, he can come back and say, hey,
It doesn't stay there.
no, but,
It's-
but can't we just take it out of the general fund? If something comes up and it's an emergency?
No, the general fund is the general fund.
No, you
You
have
can
a
take
special town
that-
meeting.
So, that money that's left over will increase that undesignated number.
Right,
That would go up. So he could come back and say, but to do that, now you're gonna get a vote of the people
yep,
Right.
to take the money out of the undesignated fund.
Yep.
Because a rec director who hasn't had a lot of time to put in, now a rec director comes in next year who's gung ho and wants to do some work. Our road commissioner said he's felt that his budget this year, he struggled because it appeared to be underfunded from the previous road commissioner.
So he comes before us this year and explains to us why, and we say, okay.
And that's fine if you have a road commissioner going from A to B, but you don't have a rec director going from A to B. You've got no rec director because the current one's in.
But, again, it's, okay, so the new rec director comes in and he sees that this is the budget,
Just live with what they have.
this is the budget that they have for this year, and then if he has big ideas, well, comes back in 2026,
for the 27 budget year.
27.
That's how you get those nice big tax increases that everybody hates, because you didn't do anything this year, so double it up next year. And don't do next year and triple it up again. It happens in budgets.
Well,
Over time.
I mean, but you're talking about recreation department, and you know, is this, again, this is the taxpayers' money. You're talking about recreation programs. If you can't fund them with the money that we have, because, you know, you can't fund them. I mean, we don't get to go to Disney World because the money isn't in our budget. As a taxpayer, I want to know that my money's going to what is priority in this town. You know, if, I'm not saying that recreation isn't, you know, it's great to have a recreation department, but if the fire department is not going to be funded, or the 911 or whatever isn't going to be funded because we're giving money to the recreation department, you know, there's only so much, and you can't, I just think you can't arbitrarily just say, you know, well, here,
It would be nice for the next person to have just in case.
Well, what were the capital projects this year that didn't get used at the rec department? Because would we have 36,000 or
The only
something?
one they had was the playground, which I put in.
Okay,
I was-
so why was there so much money left over?
Because they didn't do a lot of programs, they didn't do a lot of maintenance, there's a lot of stuff they didn't do. Now, mind you, you're gonna find that their budget, I think you'll find, is gonna be, because we're doing the pickleball courts for the community, that will get their budget closer to being spent. But,
But was that a capital project, though?
no,
Oh, yeah.
What's that gonna come out of equipment, his budget?
equipment and maintenance, yeah, he's got plenty of money in
Oh, yeah.
both lines.
I mean, he's got $13,000 in maintenance and $5,000 in equipment.
Because they just haven't, they've run some good programs, but they haven't done much for the youth or, you know, some of the stuff that goes on down the field.
But that pickleball thing should have been a capital project.
Yes.
People should have had a chance to, when they were voting on this last year, we should have had it in there, just like we had all the other stuff
The
we've done
playground
down
and
there.
everything else.
We've always told the people ahead of time, this is what this budget is. We had leftover money, so now we're using the leftover money. You know, and you could say it, but I'm just saying, that, you know, hey, we should, we could, why don't we take 20,000 and put it towards the girls softball field?
Let's do something. Maybe that's,
Well,
maybe there's a spot, maybe there should be a girls softball field somewhere.
well, it should be.
I'd be all for it. I would go for that 10 times over. Donate money towards it.
Is there room to put one in down there?
No.
Enough land to put one in down there?
No, you'd have to take the second field.
You have to revamp the second field,
So
but
why don't we put one out here?
I don't think you-
slope,
you-
yeah, the slope
cost
would
you-
get us. I'm just saying that, you know, it's,
it just, when you say leftover money,
yeah,
it's
it's
just.
just not a good feeling.
It's taxpayers' money. It's,
Well,
you
it
know,
doesn't get spent, goes back to the taxpayer. That's why your tax bill this year.
Right, but it would have been nice to have the pickleball court
And the credit
voted
for
on.
that is to our department heads, because what we don't have is department heads that go out in December, and
spend it.
Cindy says, hey, guess what? I'm gonna buy X, Y, and Z that I never thought I'd be able to buy because my budget's down, okay? We have some, I talked to Vinny at the fire department, his budget is, he's tough because he could have a truck breakdown that costs $20,000, you can't plan for that. Maybe you plan for one and you have two. So he has a few things that he budgeted for, that he does wait till December and say, not extra special items, things that he truly had in his budget, that he waits to buy to see if the money is there, because maybe truck repairs took him over, or maybe diesel was over, okay? He talked about radios. He wanted, they like to buy, I think he said 6 radios a year. This year, he thinks he's gonna only be able to buy 3 when he wanted to buy 6. And he'll wait till December, because if a truck breaks down in December, he wants to have the money, okay? But our department heads, we're lucky for every one of them that we have, because they don't go out and do what somebody might do in a business, which is, hey, my department got a bunch of money left, I'm gonna buy all new office furniture, okay? Our department heads don't do that. The money rolls back in and they know it, okay? Vinny's got $10,000 for dry hydrant repair. They're trying to get to it, they're trying to get to it, they're trying to get to it. If they don't get to it, he's not gonna say, well, okay, I'm gonna go buy something else that I can get quicker, because that $10,000 is sitting there.
Yeah, but the
He's not doing
rec department just had all that money and the select board said, oh, let's put a pickleball court.
Yeah.
So you just spent that money. We should have waited for the
Because
people.
they thought it would be something valuable for the people to have, because the rec department, God love them, they're volunteers, they do as much as they can, they've been involved in a lot of programs.
How many times
But
have
they
we
haven't
made
done
them
anything
wait
but what?
a year?
I mean, what?
How many times have we made, the rec department wanted to do the basketball court, and I think it was
And we said no,
something.
because it was almost $100,000.
Yeah,
And $100,000.
but we told them, put money in every year, and here we are, nothing ever got done, because we've changed people, I understand.
Correct. And
But-
and I don't think, as much as I'm for everything going on for rec, I think $100,000 for a basketball court is too much, okay? I don't think $15,000 or $20,000 for a couple pickleball courts is too much. I think
Right,
that's
but it should have been in the
a fair
budget, it
way
should have
to-
been in the budget. We've always done the budget, capital improvement, this is what we're doing this
They
year.
have a pavilion in their budget. They run
Yes,
a pavilion,
I get pictures of it,
and they haven't been able to get to it.
Yep.
So in lieu of that, they changed the plan to do a smaller pavilion in the pickleball courts.
Yep.
Things change, things move, and, you try to do something for the taxpayers for what they pay.
Somebody's got something on her mind before she
No,
forgets it.
believe it or not, I agree with you, Steve. When it comes
I can't believe
to
that.
putting in pickleball courts and things like that, things that require future maintenance should go towards,
They always were.
to
And-
go to the people to vote on if they
Yeah.
want to continue,
Yeah.
continue that project, because it's going to have maintenance. And we know years past that maintenance wasn't done properly, and you ended up digging yourself a hole by putting more money into something, or just letting it sit and rot.
Well, we just did with the generator.
And that's a
the
large
EMA's got.
project.
We had to
That's-
spend a lot of money.
Just because you have money left over at the end of the year, you shouldn't be rushing out to spend it on something that you didn't talk about in your original budget, even though we don't do line item. You need to ask, don't let transfer my balance to a capital project account or roll it over to
That's
the
what
next
we've
year.
always done.
So,
you know.
that's the.
Which one items ought to be listed within the town warrant?
What's that?
Which one items ought to be listed within the town warrant, so people know
Well,
in a particular year, this is what we're gonna be doing.
that's what we've,
Yeah,
that's what we've
right.
done, and people,
I know
No.
it's done, but
well, we subverted it this year, that's all, and that's, whatever.
but in the future, it should be noted.
Yep.
And that's the best way to recycle your money, is to, if you have extra money over and you want to do a special project, ask for it to be done. Take it back out of unassigned, ask the
Right.
citizens.
Well,
Do you want-
normally we take $10,000 and we put it towards next year. I mean, we've just done it with the fire department with the SCBA stuff, right? It was supposed to be, whatever, 30,000 or 26 every year, all right? We missed a year. But that's what that was, and all this should have been. We just, that's it. On another, you all set with that? I just got one question on the transfer station. That, the hauling for Torino, I guess is what it is, that 45,000, is that a contract with them now? Because it used to be Herrick. They got bought out, but is there a contract, or is this just still going? Herrick, it was just a deal, but it's 45,000 now.
I think the contract.
Well, there was no
She said the contract continued.
Well, there was no contract. That never went out to bid or anything else. I'm just wondering if they're,
Troiano agreed to hold Herrick's pricing.
yes,
When they took over.
yeah, but is that gonna end at the end of the year? Or should we enter a contract with them like we got the Mellons runs out 12/31/27?
I can only assume that Joanne called him and asked him.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying, we ought to find,
Question of Joanne.
yeah,
Right.
okay, when she comes in. All right, yep. All right, and she's got here for, I guess we're gonna put extra gravel up there. I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Flat funded their budget, why are you looking at it?
No, I'm just
You
looking,
just said, somebody flat funds their budget.
Yeah.
We don't look at it.
well,
But yet we're looking at a flat funded budget.
this says per 5-year plan, so do we have money set aside because it's saying they're gonna have gravel, leveling, dirt area, I guess 1,300 square yards, I guess, of rough grade, and 217 tons of base. So, that's under a capital project. Is that a
Oh, under
3-year
capital
project, or
projects,
is that
okay.
just this year?
I don't have that.
Because that says, that project's total is 57,500 for capital. Is that a 3-year, or 5-year deal?
She's been doing overtime.
Right, well, it says it's,
And putting it in, instead of doing it as a capital project and growing it and doing it all at once.
Yeah.
She's doing a little bit of time each year.
well, that's my point, that the 57.5, is that,
I think we should ask her to
You
come in
don't
next
have to-
week.
okay, I'm just saying, is that the budget we need for this year, or is that a continuation of building up to what the total will cost?
I don't believe it, if it's in her operation budget,
Well, no, it's under a capital.
Okay, but that's separate.
all right, then
It's
you go.
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's right. Well, when she comes in, I'll ask. I'm just saying,
I just
it
didn't
looks like
print
it's
them
a
out online
5-year plan.
Says she's happy to come in
Nobody put
actually.
anything in this.
Well, no, we know that. Now, I'm asking you guys what that is.
So how about if we have her come in next Wednesday,
Wednesday?
Joanne? Yeah, because we're meeting on the 29th.
Oh, we are, okay, that's right.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, 20
So,
Okay.
So to your point about level funding, my suggestion would be that if somebody level funds their budget and there's no questions on it, no, then I would say we would not need to see the department head. But if if we have any question, then we can ask the department head to come in and present their budget to us. Does that sound reasonable?
Absolutely.
I mean, so we don't have to see all
But-
I mean, and I completely believe you. I have, again, I'm new to this, so I haven't met a lot of people in town. I don't know who's running what. And I completely believe you that, the department heads are fully capable of, but again, I think the whole reason behind me being here is to make sure that our tax dollars are being spent efficiently. So, when you have questions, like I said, the animal control was the first one that came to mind because I saw it was up so much. So, and anyone else that looks at this says, okay, why, and if she can come in and say that there's a reason why she needs $8,000 more next year, then fine, before we have to submit, or they have to go back and ask for it some other way. So we would want to see, this one, this one, this one, this one. Does that sound reasonable?
It does. Because we don't even have half the budgets yet, and we're at the 23rd of October.
Yeah, so we'll work 24 hours a day, doesn't it? That's what we've done every year past. Nobody ever submits
I was
them. They were
trying to-
supposed to be September, and here we are in November. We still don't have them. So,
Oh, these are the new ones? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cindy, you're gonna give this to us after we already approved it? Good night.
Look, she gets a very good star.
Okay, all right.
All right, so I think, were there any questions on the other budgets that we've received?
Oh, I didn't even
I mean, we're gonna have Joanne come in for the transfer station.
Yeah, do you wanna have the dog officer, whatever that's called?
Oh, the
Please.
animal control?
Let her, see if she'll come in,
Yes,
the same night, and we can get her, she'll be
yeah.
in and
no-
out.
Yep, do we wanna have
We can do two,
road
Two in the
commissioner
night.
come in? Because that was,
Well,
I mean, that
that's
was a $50,000 jump.
that's a long one.
And then Vinnie said that he would come in and present his budget to us. Was it next week?
He said he would next week, but I wanna see his budget before, I wanna be able to review his budget
Right. We'll
so
do-
that if we have questions, we have the questions
Okay.
ready, and we're not spending an hour trying to figure out.
So can Alicia contact him and see if we can get his budget prior to next?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm
Okay.
gonna reach out to Vinnie
Okay.
too. Do we wanna have road commissioner come in next week?
Well, that's a major one. That should come in with a small one.
Do we wanna have him come in, November 6th?
That's fine. Maybe have EMA come in next week. So you have two small ones, two
Yeah.
single ones, basically, and a big
Yeah,
one.
so October 29th.
EMA, ACO, and Joanne.
Okay.
And what was the third one?
EMA, Joanne, the transfer
Joanne,
station,
Okay.
and animal control.
And then,
And if Vinnie can get here, maybe, yeah, we'll see on Vinnie's. I think fire department's gonna probably be,
Well, it'd be long, yeah, we'll get it the week after.
yeah. Okay.
okay, so then November 6th, road commissioner possibly and fire.
Yeah.
Is the constable any different from, no, we don't know?
We don't know because we had well,
John, has the constable one gone up at all? It says 7533.
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
What's that?
Okay.
Constable?
Yeah, there's
Oh.
nothing from last year, what I'm saying.
right, hang on, I have the green
His-
sheet.
I have it.
I have, yeah. So it went up.
No, it went
What?
down. So this is
Oh,
22.
yeah, it did.
But I think because.
There was a question on cell phone because he didn't break down cell phone
No,
this year.
the mileage went from 2750 down to 0.
Right, 'cause-
Because I think his mileage went over to
So
the
let's
code
ha-
enforcement.
Let's have Stan come in next week too, because,
No, that part of it's quicker
yeah.
than the code enforcement office.
All right, so we'll have Stan come in next week too.
Okay?
And this way, it'll give
Well,
us a
that'll
chance
knock-
to look at
it'll knock
everything.
4 of those off.
Yep. All right, so I will send out an email to them, asking them to. Please, come
And then see if any will come in the week after.
in. Yep.
And we can do the road commissioner the week after.
Okay.
And do
Okay.
the major ones.
You want to do road commissioner on the 13th,
Yep.
the following week?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so road commissioner on the
13th.
Okay.
So those are all the biggies, right?
Yep. Those are the ones that take the time.
And then I guess as the rest of them come in, if we have any questions, we can just ask those department heads to come in. And
Yeah.
if there's no,
Yeah, sometimes we've emailed them and asked them the particular question that gets answered without them coming in.
yeah,
It's not.
May I ask another question?
Yes.
You're going to not like me after tonight. So what about the town clerk and tax collector? I understand they're getting done.
Yeah.
How's their
We
budget?
haven't seen anything from them yet.
she said that she was gonna, they were submitting their budget to be level funded because they're both leaving.
Okay, so if someone's elected to that position, are they going to come in at that rate?
Well, that's up to the select board.
You know?
No.
No, it's up to the townspeople,
The
actually.
town people are gonna have to vote on it, yes.
The townspeople vote on a salary amount for those
Right,
positions,
right.
and whoever gets elected gets the money.
So if it's the same money that is already there, so it's the same salary that they're already getting.
What she's saying, if somebody comes in with no experience, they get the top dollar.
But
Well,
I
they-
think we need to, I
Who
think,
sets the tax clerks, who sets their pay?
They do.
select board.
No?
No.
Townspeople.
Oh.
The
Townspeople.
people,
So, here's the question, let me ask you a second question.
That was voted on.
By who?
The town. It was part of the, when she was elected in.
She got almost a $20,000 raise.
The town voted for it.
Townspeople.
So
Whatever
here's
they
a
put
question
it,
for you. In the past, let me ask you this question. For years and years, the town clerk and the tax collector were the same person.
Right.
Yes.
So what if somebody runs for both positions?
They get both salaries?
They get both salaries.
Well,
They
no.
can-
Yeah.
Why not?
Why, and I think this is something for the select board to decide, is when we, go to put it out, is the town going to hire somebody to be a tax collector
We don't
and
hire
deputy?
that person.
Sorry,
They're
appoint.
elected.
No, we don't
they're
appoint
elected.
Or
They're
elect,
elected.
sorry, bad wording. Are we going to put it out there for the election to hire somebody as a tax collector and deputy clerk? And a
We elect two
town
people.
clerk
We
and a
elect-
deputy?
No, we elect two people. We elect a town clerk and a tax collector. Two positions.
Yep.
They don't have to be separate, they can be together. Judy was the town clerk, tax collector for decades. She was both. Now, she hired a deputy. That was her choice. For years, her deputy in both positions was Dee. And in that department, they figured out amongst themselves how they were going to divide that pay. A couple of years ago, they separated. Judy ran for tax collector, and Dee Dee ran for town clerk. And they decided which pay was for each person.
Who's they?
Then, the town clerk and the tax collector.
So
When they
decided-
submitted budgets.
Yes.
Then they put in for, not a deputy, but an assistant for the office. So that budget has, if it's flat funded, has paid for a tax collector, a town clerk, and an assistant.
Okay.
Once that is elected, and that person comes in, if one person ran for town clerk and tax collector and said, I'm gonna do everything, and I'm gonna be up here 10 hours a day, I'm taking all $130,000, $40,000 it is.
That's up to the voters, so if the
It's not for
voters,
the voters.
Yes, it is.
How?
How is it up to the voters if they're if one person runs for it?
If one
the-
person,
the-
Because
they
their
gotta get,
salary
they
should
gotta
be
get
part of
voted
it.
in. Hopefully, the voters will say, look, we want two different people and one running. But we could also put on the
control
thing.
that. You can't say you can one for one and not the other.
No, they could run. The voters can say, no, we don't want the same person.
They could.
That's one alternative. The other thing we could put in there is that I know it'll be in the budget, but we can also have wording in there that the pay salary, or what, if it's salary or hourly, whatever, is gonna range from this to this.
And who picks the range?
Well, we'll have to
How
work
do you
about
pick
the,
the range? It's not- this
based
is the
on
archaic
experience.
system we live in.
This,
This is the
Based
system
on
we've got.
experience, we've got something based on experience now
Yeah.
that's
I
not
thought
working.
this warrant belonged to the selectmen, and they can ask, they can change those figures. I thought the warrant was put out by the selectmen.
We can knock down those salaries.
Okay.
We can knock, but
well, I think we ought to check in to see if we can put a range.
we could
On it.
knock it down.
I think
You
you-
can't put a range, because then you can't.
If the voters
Who
vote,
makes
if the,
it? And then who decides? Do you go to the voters and say, the person that won had 3 years, how much do you want by him?
I
no,
think-
you're gonna
Who
have
says
to,
it? Who makes the decision?
well, maybe we ought to get some legal advice on it before we
I
get.
think
into
what
What
you-
action.
do you mean, guys? We've gone
I
through this
bet
for
you we,
years.
no, we've never had this problem.
Never have a problem.
well, one thing that you can do, and both boards can collaborate together, is to come up with, this is your opportunity to change these positions to appointed positions, and you won't find yourself in this conundrum. You won't find yourself, someone running for the position and getting, who has absolutely, doesn't even know how to run a computer. That could happen. And I think that you could have a special town meeting, put something out there.
Well, we've skated for 25 years because everyone that's been in there was in there previously, like as an assistant, but the times have changed. So we got
going
open discussion.
forward, then, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if you make it an appointed position, then you can set the salary.
Yes, that's correct.
You can create a job description and certain qualifications and get that, and then you can put a salary out there between, a range of this and that.
So can we do this
No.
in time for the next
I don't know,
person to be
Yes.
put in their position?
or you can check with Judy and say, and this might have to be voted on, so on your petition, your sheet, you go get signatures, there can be a description, and this is what the salary range is going to be. Double check with Judy on that, but.
I don't know if you put that, if, I don't know.
No, we got to try something.
The answer to your question is yes. We could hold a special town meeting. We have time, we could hold a special town meeting between now and the end of the year. Now that these two people have both said, they both said publicly they're not coming back.
Right.
Now would be the perfect time to get those positions to appointed, hired, versus elected,
Okay.
okay? Then we can.
Hold them
At
accountable.
that point, now you're gonna leave it up to whoever the select board is at the time to hire those people. But if we could do that by the end of the year, we could start interviewing people in January, because they're until March, and say, here we go. And if they're level funding their budget, we may want to say, let's put some money in there for training, because we may want to hire somebody February 1st and say, can you please spend the next month in there, or a month and a half, learning the position or getting caught up, so it's a smooth transition. Because as it is right now, whatever day our election day is on Friday, Monday morning, somebody goes back into that office who's never been in there, as of right now.
Right.
Well, depends on who runs. So somebody brand new, if they're 18 or older,
But
go
we
in
have,
there.
but right now, we have funding for that from the budget that can be taken because, as we know, everything is not line item and it's not set. There's a budget for deputy that hasn't been used
But that's this
for the most
year.
part. For
That's
this year, correct. Which,
Would be in next year's budget too.
right,
If it's
which
level
is
funded,
flatlining
right.
that
But
they'd be adding that in.
The people who have been there for years
Mhm.
believe they need 3 people. The deputy clerk, the tax collector, the town clerk, and the tax collector, and an assistant. So you would need, assumingly, money for that other position that the new town clerk, tax collector might hire, or whoever you hire may say, we can do it on our own, and they might not need that training money. But to not put money in, we've been accused of not putting money in the budget for training a treasurer who had 19 years' experience. Now, we offered all the training she could ever want, and we would have found the money for it, but you gotta have some sort of transition plan. And having a vote on Friday and a person coming in on Monday is not a transition plan.
But before we go to appointed or anything else, we've got to have a job description. We don't have a job description for anything in this town.
Well, I think
If you're elected, you can't,
No, I'm saying, before you want the people to vote on changing this, we ought to have a job description.
hire a position, yes, the position.
Be- Before we vote on changing this, we ought to have
You can't
job
hire somebody,
description.
you can't hire somebody with a job description and pay.
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta have a position available, then create a job to.
We have a position available to create it.
Well, we're going to have it available, we already know that, but we ought to get a job
You
description.
can't put a job description together for an elected person.
No, if you're going to change it, I'm saying.
Absolutely, if we could get the
Before-
vote of the people to change it, which they voted down year after year after year.
That's right.
We've-
But that's
We've
because-
tried to do this for years.
But that's because Judy and Dee Dee have been in there for a long time.
But
Now
we-
that they're
every
leaving,
time-
that may change.
Every time it's been put through, it's been clearly stated that this would start when the current people leave, and people still vote it down. Okay, every time it's been tried to be done, we've always said that people in the current position will stay. It's always been stated that.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah. Oh. Gail's been patiently waiting, I'm sorry.
Help me out, John, or Selectman. It's my understanding that the third position was initiated because Judy was going to retire, and she wanted time to train somebody, and that kept going on and on and on, and that's, should be taken out of the budget.
Well,
That third
who's going to be
person.
there for the vacation? No, that's,
2 people will be there, 2 people. unless you change it to one.
Well, right now,
You
right
still
now,
need two wages,
if somebody
yes.
comes in, can only do the town clerk stuff and not the tax collector stuff,
But
all
there's
right?
still two people in there that's going to be together, okay?
If it's
The problem
appointed,
we
we can
have, though,
require
is
the
you
Judy
That
and
could-
Dee Dee never
You have
had
to be
vacation, never took
certified by the
vacation
state
till
to
this
be a
year.
clerk. If the
Of course
clerk
they
is
do.
not there, you don't have a clerk.
Yes.
So when Dee Dee left, Judy could do it. Now, assuming the two new people, if it is two new, different people,
Right,
they could be each other's deputy.
correct,
Or it could be one person gets them both, and they hire a deputy.
correct.
And then they
You
can
need
choose who they hire.
You need two salaries.
The town clerk and tax collector right now have a job posting for that position. My understanding is they've gotten resumes. The last they told me directly was they didn't see anybody qualified. So they haven't hired anybody. When that person gets hired, it's not the select board that hires them.
No,
It's-
and that's fine.
It's those two people in there, they're the ones that work with them. So they hire that position.
But we
They
also,
haven't done it, because they apparently haven't found somebody that they,
And the state has to certify them as well.
What's that?
I say, and the state has to certify the clerk
that's right,
as
that's
well.
part of the big
Well,
problem.
that would be ideally if somebody would come in, ideally, it'd be nice if somebody would step up now and say, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run for this position in March, and I'd like to apply for that job and become their assistant right now and learn it. But that's still, they could hire somebody tomorrow that says, I'm gonna run in March, and then somebody else could come up in March and put their name in that might be a little more popular, have more friends, that could win, and all that money you spent could be gone out the window, because you've got no guarantee the person that's in there is gonna win.
How about you look at it this way, if you, and I can answer your concern too, Steve, at the same time. If we hold a special town meeting and vote to make those positions appointed, there's nothing to say we can't work behind the scenes and create a job description, so once those positions are appointed, then you've got a job description you can put out.
Yeah, that's absolutely do. We gotta, but I don't know the answer to this. I've been trying to find out over the past couple of days whether we as a select board can just call a special town meeting to make that change, or if it has to be done by citizens petition. I know we can put anything, if we were gonna put it on the November ballot, and it's too late for that, clearly. If we were gonna put it on a ballot, we could have put it on. That we can do. Whether we can hold a special town meeting to make a change like that, we need to find out from the attorney whether we can do that. If not, we have to do it by citizen's petition.
Well, I don't think it
which
should be a
still can
special,
done by the end of the year.
I don't think it should be a special town meeting. Not enough people come out.
So when do you wanna vote on it?
We may have to do it in March.
When the position's already up? You have to vote for the position in March.
I bet
You're gonna vote for somebody in there for 3 years
I
in
bet
March.
you could stir enough interest in this position to have a special town meeting and have a number of people here. I bet you could.
I think you're correct.
And if it were in the paper and run, because, you know, so many of the postings are on social media or at the town offices. I live in a neighborhood, our house is the only one on social media. Our neighbors across the street, up the road, up the other way, the family, they're not on social media.
Whenever we have time,
Yep.
you want to put, I guess, our media other than social media is the shopper's guide, or maybe
Right.
the reporter.
Right.
Okay? Whenever there has been enough time to post something, it always goes in either the shopper's guide and or the reporter.
Right.
Okay? The only time that I know of when I've sat on that board that we haven't done it is when they just, because of the timing, you gotta have it in the shopper's guide by a certain date, and the meetings, if we haven't had time, then that's the way it's done. But other than that, it's always been posted in shopping guide and or the reporter.
Right, but if we wanted to have a vote at the beginning of December to make it appointed, that would give you plenty of
I
time.
would double check on that, though, if it has to be
So-
secret ballot, because ordinances have to be secret ballot, we know
So
that.
What are we talking
This-
about for salaries? For
We
these
don't
two positions? No, I'm saying current.
Look at one of your books.
I have a green sheet.
65, 60?
60,
Between 60 and 65 apiece plus benefits.
64, 322, is that one? And then 60?
And a third person, too.
So $124,000. So I would think you could get enough interest with we're spending $125,000 in salaries for these two positions that, yeah, you don't want just anybody to be elected to these positions. I think that we would want to have someone qualified to be appointed and have a job description and say,
I would think the best thing to do would be
To get this-
to try and get these positions appointed,
yes.
yet work behind the scenes with what they have to have for qualifications. So if it passes that vote, then you, the day after that, you put that job description out.
Before you hire anybody.
I wrote, hey, oops, sorry.
$150,000.
Yeah, so that's a substantial amount of money.
I wrote a bunch of job descriptions several years ago. It encompassed the whole town.
I remember, but they're gone.
No, someone has them, I believe they still have
I
them.
think they used to start a campfire
But
myself.
where you can go, let me tell you where you can go. Are you all, are you able to get on Maine Municipal?
There has to be.
No,
I'm sorry.
Can you get onto Maine Municipal's website?
No.
Get permission to get on the website, and there's a lot of information that's very useful to you. There's job descriptions, there's rules, there's laws, there's everything you can think of to help you.
Okay, but the only way we can use the job description and everything is if it becomes an appointed position.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
because as an elected position, anybody could
As
run.
long as you're 18 years old and a registered voter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that
if-
we should really try.
If we were to do the vote at the end of November, beginning of December, to have it become appointed, that would give us time with the budget committee to determine, okay, what do we need to do with these salaries? Are they going to be appointed?
Well, you would,
Yes?
because you need, this has to all be done pretty much by the beginning of the year. So we could set that, you could concurrently doing it, you could be doing it hoping that it goes through, right?
But we would know the results
But
after the vote in December, which is before we have to put out all the warrants for the budgets, everything else. So we would be able to separate it out to say, okay, this is what this salary, here's what we want to add in for training. Oh, we're going to boost it up because this new person is going to be accountable for this job and, whatever. Then we can plan. Instead of flying by the seat of our pants, going, well, what if?
convince enough people to make those positions hired, and it's been difficult. We've tried it. Matter of fact, we've been chastised for trying it too much.
But again,
We continue to bring it back,
All right.
and the people continue to vote it down.
but I think that's because the same people were going to stay in the position.
We offered, everybody said, it was always said, whether it was town clerk, tax collector, treasurer, road commissioner, that those positions would stay in place until they decided to retire. That was always a caveat of the changing. Maybe now that they're gone, maybe people will think differently.
Well, and again,
Maybe
with the
people were afraid.
$150,000 in salary, I think that you could get enough interest from the taxpayers in town that they would change it.
I
I
think
think we have to look back at the salary and see what's competitive out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if they
No,
look at the reports and they find out what they're getting right now, of course you're gonna have a lot of people interested in it.
Yeah, I'd work part-time for that money.
But we've gotta have a job description.
Right. And that number,
Well,
that number doesn't have to stay the same, that's what I mean. It-
Right.
You know.
No, you'd have a range.
You can create the job description, put the posting out there, and
And-
say
and
the
create the
salary
budget.
is between this and this, and it doesn't
Based on
have to be
experience.
on the high end.
Right.
But I think you can get a job description that we can, when people go to vote on this, here's the new job description for this, and people would go for it. Without a job description, people are just gonna say no. So you go to Waterboro, you go to all those other places, Wendy's already done a job description we had years ago that was
We've
just
had job
laying on.
descriptions for those positions before, we never needed them. But
Right, like I said,
when we talked about hiring them, we've come up with job descriptions.
Right.
But we've never had to put it forward because the vote never.
right. I'm saying, put the job description out there
Well, you have
so
to,
people
when
can
you-
see what they're
If you
voting.
want to hire somebody, clearly you have to have a job description, you have to have a salary.
Yeah. But I'm saying have it out there before people actually vote to change this.
So I think.
This is the job
Cart-
description you're voting
You
on.
do that, you put in the cart before a horse, you gotta have it appointed, and then you can put a job.
But
I think we could do it quickly, though.
but we could start, if we wanted to, we can start working on job description right now.
Right.
We can do it, we just may not end up using it. We've had the template before, there's
It's-
plenty out there. We could have the job description ready to go for when the people vote on it. So the people that are voting on it see the
See
job
what the job description
for the-
is.
So we should have a job description before we ask people to vote on it. So
That's right.
it's something we should start on now, assuming, I don't want to waste our time, assuming we're going to try to get a vote.
No, that's up to you guys.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to talk,
Oh. Yeah.
I talked to Howard about it the other day.
Because without a job description, people are just gonna say, oh, they're gonna have their friend do it, or,
You're
you
not
know.
hire somebody, you have to have a job description.
No.
All right, so
All right, cool.
anything else?
I got one other thing that's
Yeah.
probably,
Are you gonna vote for 3 positions?
no, you do town clerk and tax collector. Those are the 2 positions we would hire. Once they get in, they need to determine, we may put in the job description that if you are the tax collector, you are gonna be responsible for being the deputy town clerk. And if you are the town clerk, you're gonna be responsible for being the deputy tax collector. So that can be right in the job description.
Certainly can.
The 3rd position would be whether they decide,
They need
once
more.
they get in, whether they need it or not.
But I think that would be up to the town at that point again to bring a third person in.
I wouldn't start with that.
No,
I would give them,
the 2.
we could put some money there for training out of that line, but I wouldn't put the 3rd person in there. You know, there was some talk, what Gail said, there was some talk of trying to train somebody, because the talk of this transition's been going on for a long time now. But we had the 3rd person in there for what, a year and a half? Couple of years? So
It was a couple of
it was long before, even if that position was been in there for a year and a half, 2 years, before we knew we had an election coming up. So when they knew they ran last time, they knew they had 3 years, but they still hired that person. I don't think they needed 3 years of training. At the time, they said they were overworked, and they had more transactions going through that window than anybody could ever imagine. So I think the new people would need to make that determination, kind of like the treasurer did. The treasurer came in, knew what the salary was, apparently, didn't like it, worked a year, and came back and said, I need $17,000 more. And the people said, have it. We think you're doing such a good job.
So-
$17,000.
So, I double check on the deputy portion, because I believe town clerk and the tax collector can hire their own deputy.
Not if they were appointed.
Not if they're
I'm not
appointed.
sure.
Well,
I would double check on
We'll
it.
find out if they're
That's
hired.
Yeah, I double check on it.
But-
Because it's still state regulated.
So,
Yes.
so
One
before
of
we're
them
putting
is.
this 3rd person into play, let's maybe, try to get it so that these positions are appointed before the budgets all have to be in everything else. So we can budget for the 2 people and extra training after, give it time. And then come the next budget, if Limerick, for some reason, all of a sudden is really busy, or they find out that they have 20 years of filing that they have to get done that they don't want to do and want to put it on somebody else, then they can come to the town and say, we need a 3rd person, we want to add this into our budget. Then we can put that out to the town to vote
And I
to have a
think
3rd
that-
person appointed.
Both those departments are very well run, they both do great jobs. I don't think people are gonna come in and find something overwhelmingly to do because something hasn't been done. But, there's gonna be a learning curve.
Well, and
Absolutely.
state regulations, that's the biggest part about that office.
And there are people out there
That's
that
training.
already have these,
That's right.
many of these jobs in most towns are already hired.
Yeah.
And there are people that already have those certifications that will come with them.
So, all right. So you guys got your work to do.
We do
Yep.
have one other thing that's pretty important.
But
So I know that the selectmen's budget, we haven't pulled forward yet, but based on the audit what has been done for 2024, the fire department, that line is showing negative $217,000, okay? Now, people have been saying, oh, they overspent by $217,000. That is not a true statement, okay?
Okay.
The reason that line is where it's at is because the voters authorized the select board to borrow up to $3.95 million in change. We didn't borrow $3.95 million because the bank wouldn't allow us to borrow $3.95 million. They only allowed us to borrow $3.75 million. Okay? So when the people put all the numbers together to build that building, once we took all the money we were expected to get from the federal government and all the other little pockets we were taking from, we knew from the beginning we were going to need to get a loan for $3.95 million. The bank appraised the building at $5 million and would only give us 75% of that, which is $3.75 million. We knew that from day one. So we knew that we were short a couple $100,000 on the funding. We said, well, let's get through the project. We'll see where we end up. Okay, because maybe when we're done, the bank would say the building's worth $6 million, and they'd lend us the other $200,000 if we want. Maybe the project would come in under, and we wouldn't need the $200,000. Our definite guarantee was we knew we were getting $1.8 million from the federal government. So our plan in place was when the $1.8 million comes in, we'll pay the loan down by $1.6 million and use the $200,000 and borrow less. So the town would be less in debt for the fire station. When the $1.8 million came, at that point in time, the best accounting we had for the fire station told us that we were under, and we were going to be able to, we could pay off the whole $1.8 million and still come in without having to find any more funds. So we paid the $1.8 million. Now that the whole project has been audited, we're $217,000 off. So at some point, we need to decide where the $217,000 is coming from. And that may have to be a warrant article for March that says, do we want to, I believe the select board right now, based on what was voted on, we could go back to the bank right now and refinance that loan, or have them reassess the building and get us to the point where we could borrow that difference that they didn't allow before.
At what interest rate?
We don't need to do that. I'm saying we could do that. We could do that. I would never personally advocate for that.
Right.
I think that with the lot sales we've had, and I think once the capital project line festers out, and we know we just talked earlier that we've got probably an extra $500,000 in the undesignated account. What I'm saying is there'll probably be a warrant article in March that says, do you want to take from the capital reserve, or do you want to take from the undesignated account $217,000 to balance this account back out? Okay, but it needs to be clear that that building came in at or under budget. It was underfunded. It wasn't overbuilt. So that's something that will be coming up. I mean, where it's a couple $100,000, I think we should start thinking about it now as opposed to last minute.
Okay.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So, what?
The motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
It's the witching time. Second.
All in favor? Have a good night.
Thank you all.
Gail, did you shut us off?